Hello and welcome back to the GT Aviator channel, the channel where I showcase my adventures, my trials and tribulations of flight, and what it really means to me to be a microlight pilot. Today's video is episode 2 of our Scottish adventure, where myself, Dave Buggins, Eddie Scoogle, John and Mike Upton flew around the Scottish Isles. Today we travel from Perth all the way to Glenforsa, where we held up for the night. I'll say held up for the night, a lovely place. If you're into aviation and you do fly around the UK, you probably know Glenforsa. It's in the Scottish Isles, it's west of Oban, and it's a beautiful location. If you've never been and you do fly in the UK, it's a place to go and stay. A great hotel and great food and a great location. Anyway, let's see how we got on today. Well, as you can see, there's a little bit of a hold up here where there's a fair amount of traffic trying to take off and land. There was lots of circuits and bumps at this period of time. And the idea was we'd get away and we'd fly over to Bute and see what Bute's all about, have a break there, and then we'd travel up to Glenforsa. So from here, the first stop is Bute. So as I backtracked runway 27, I noticed that the windsock was directly across the runway. ATC confirmed that we had a mean speed of 26 knots. So a fair bit of left aileron and a little bit of right rudder, and off I went. However, as the tail lifted, I probably had a little bit too much right rudder because the nose swung to the right. However, I did manage to catch it and keep the nose down and sorted it out and carried on with the flight. But as you notice, the windsock is directly across, so I think I did well to hold it. However, the rest of the flight was fine. You can see that it's very blustery, and we landed at Bute. And as I spoke to the other fellas, I said, how did you find that takeoff? Not too bad, but it was a bit windy. But two of the guys are flying tricycle undercarriage, and me and Eddie are on tail draggers. So it was a little bit more tactical for us, but it's just another way of flying. Okay, as it says, Bute is on the nose, and the idea is that we're going to fly across the island to the west side of it and then join downwind for runway 27, and then the film will speed up a little bit because we just want to get rid of the boring transit stuff, because the most exciting stuff is the landing and takeoffs, and they certainly are when I'm in control. Anyway, let's see how I get on. Well, after a quick Jimmy Riddle, it was time to head off on our last leg of the journey to Glenforsa. And as you can see in front of me, Eddie's just taxied by, followed by Dave, and we're all going to taxi up to the threshold of runway 27. The thing is about Bute, there ain't a lot there apart from this fantastic scenery. The runway is in fairly decent condition, although a little bit bumpy. If you go there, you can park up and then you can walk a little way down the road and you end up at a pub, and you can always get something to eat and a drink there. But on this occasion we didn't, as we wanted to head off to Glenforsa. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the next leg. We're now just entering Loch Fyne, and on your left you'll see Tarbert, and there's a place called Stonefield Castle where I've stayed before, and all that is a Mullican Tire over there. And beyond that piece of land there, then you'll find Jura. But we're just heading up to Loch Gilphead now, where the Crenning Canal is. Okay, I'm just about to join or enter the estuary, or lock as the Scots call them, and this lock's called the Sound of Mull. And this stretch of water flows right by Glenforsa. And if you didn't know or know anything about Glenforsa, Glenforsa is right on the coast. It's a beautiful spot which we're about to get to. This is the lock looking down towards Tobermory, which is right on the nose, and just to the left will be Glenforsa. In front of me is Dave and Eddie, behind me is John and Mike. So I'm going to wait for those guys to sort themselves out, and then I'll be doing a right hand turn descending onto runway 26.